Hello everyone, my name is Ankit Jain. I welcome you all to my channel Tech Journey with Ankit. Today's video is again in the continuation of what we are discussing of the frequently asked questions in the interviews, either for the freshers or in case you do have 0 to 2 years of experience. I hope these questions will find you helpful and will also help you to crack your interview as well. So without further delay, we can get started. In case you folks didn't got a chance to watch the part 1 and the part 2 of this video, I have put the links in the video description. You can check out from there. Moreover, in case you folks like to have the connect with me or you want to download this interview guide, you can also check out the top mat. For example, if you navigate to the top mat, here you will see under the digital product, there are different digital products that I am offering. For example, you can download the interview prep guide with the help of which you can revise the questions of the different modules of the Salesforce. For example, you can have the common interview questions in case you do have 0 to 2 years of experience. Moreover, there are different questions in case from the LWC module, integration module, flow module, Apex, and multiple scenario based and the developer based questions as well. In total, if I'm not wrong, we do have more than 370 plus questions that you will find in this guide. So you can navigate to the top mate and you can download those questions from here. Moreover, there are a few additional guides which are available here with the help of which you can speed up your interview preparation, like the admin guide and the LWC guide. In case you folks have attended the bootcamp and followed the LWC bootcamp on my channel, the complete code and the notes that I have used in my bootcamp, everything will be available here. Moreover, if you folks like to have one-to-one call with me, you can also do that on the top mate as well. Now, without further delay, we can get started with the first question for today. Now, the first question here is a record is shared with the user A with read-only access, but user A's profile has the edit permission. Now the question comes, can user A edit the record? Okay, so there are two different permissions that the user A have. At the record level, user only have the read permission, but at the profile level, the user have the edit permission. Now the question comes, can user A edit the record? Now, in this type of question, whenever there is not much clarity, you have to always ask the interviewer whether they are referring to edit their own record or they are referring to edit the other records in the org. Again, I am doing this interview question with the assumption that they are asking whether the users can go and edit the other records as well. So whenever we do have the intersection in between the record level security and the object level security, or whenever we do have the conflict between the record level security and the object level security, the Salesforce rule says that always go for the most restrictive setting. Do remember this rule, because in any security based question, even though that is scenario based, always try to apply this rule that the most restrictive settings always win. So if I take this as an example, in this example at the profile level, user is getting the edit access. Moreover, at the record level, the user is getting the read only access. So there are two different access here. One is the read only and second one here is the edit access. Now, if I do compare in between the edit and the read, the most restrictive access here is going to be the read access, right? So despite at the profile level, user have the edit access, but the most restrictive access will win. And with this role, user A cannot edit the record. I hope you folks got the understanding how to go and attempt the scenario based question based on the security. So another question that I want you do try to attempt and put your answer in the comment section is what all the different options available in the Salesforce to control the record level security. Don't only go for the don't only go for the configuration based option. Also consider programmatic options, how you can go and control the record level security as well. Okay, so do consider both config option as well as the programmatic based option and put your solution in the comment section. If you don't know the programmatic approach, I will appreciate if you do some research and put the answer so that you will also learn what is the programmatic approach to control the record level security. Now, another scenario based question that we do have, user C need access to the certain account of record, but should not edit them. So there is one user who want to access the few set of records, but here the user does not want to edit them. These records are currently private. Again, what does it mean from the private? Private means currently the user C cannot see those records. Whoever the user is creating that record, only that user can see those records. But user C want to access those records with the view only access. So how you can extend that? Again, in this question, they have not specified about anything about the hierarchy. So whenever you are giving the interview, you can always upfront ask the question whether the user C is in the higher hierarchy from the owners of the record. If the answer is yes, then your approach to the problem will differ. But here I am doing it with the assumption that they are not in the same hierarchy. Then what approach you will go for? Again, if you know the answer, pause the video and put your solution in the comment section. So the approach that you will go for here, in case they are not in the hierarchy, that is with the help of sharing rule. So what you will do here, you can go and create either the criteria based sharing rule or the owner based sharing rule, with the help of which you can share the specific set of account record. You can define the criteria how the records will be shared from the user. I hope it makes sense. Whenever you have to share a specific set of records, always try to think about whether can use the criteria based sharing rule or the owner based sharing rule. Now another question. If a user does not have a permission to create a record of a certain record type, again a very favorite question from the interviewer. Even I do ask this question very frequently because most of the times I do get wrong answer for this question. So what is this question? If a user does not have the permission to create a record of a certain record type, can they still view the records of that type? Let's take an example that you do have the different types of opportunity. On the opportunity object, you have created the different sales process. You do have the separate sales process for the retail, and you do have the separate another sales process for the B2B business. Okay. Now the question comes here is a user who have the access of the opportunity and can only create the B2B opportunities. Can that user access the retail opportunity or not? Okay, similar kind of a question can be asked in a different way. They can give you a scenario and expect a solution from you. So what is the thumb rule that you have to apply whenever there is a security related question based on the record type? If you know the answer for this, again pause it and let me know in the comment section. So the answer for this here is yes. Even though a user who does not have the access of that particular record type, they can still or he can still or she can still view the record of that record. Right? A user can still view the record of a record type even though they does not have the permissions to create the record of that record type. So what does it mean? Record type permissions only control the creation but not the visibility. Again, I am repeating, record type permission only controls the creation. So what type of record that you can create or end user can create, whether a retail record or the B2B record, only that part can be controlled using the record type permission. However, the visibility of something which is managed always from the object level security and the record level permission. It does not have to do anything with the record type. I hope you found this question also helpful. Moving to the next question now. If a record owner leaves the organization and the record ownership is changes. Okay, so let's say I am the record owner for one of the account and now I am leaving that organization. So that what will happen? The record ownership has been changed to the new employee who have joined the organization. Now the question comes, what will happen to those records that has been manually shared previously by the original owner? Okay, so for example, there are set of records that has been manually shared with some other team members. Now the ownership of that record has been changed. What will happen to those original record, or what will happen to those original manual sharings that you have defined? Whether that will exist or that will get removed. What is your thought process on this? Again, very simple. When the record ownership changes, the rule says that manual sharing setting associated with the original owner are automatically removed. Okay, as soon as the ownership has been changes from one user to another user, automatically whatever the ownership that has been set by the user A, it will automatically removed. So in case the new user again wants to share the record, they have to again go and do the new sharing. Simple answer, but you should know this concept very well. Whenever the ownership is changing, existing manual sharing will automatically be removed. And this rule applies only for the manual sharing. Okay. Now, another question. I hope you found this question helpful because most of the times I do get requests on my channels and my Telegram that please post the question for us to attempt and then you can validate. So this is an opportunity for you folks that you go and attempt this question, put your answer in the comment section. And whenever your folks are putting the answer, always try to put the answer with the description. Okay, what you are doing by putting the answer, you are taking care of the accountability of your preparation. So what is the question here? There are two users, user A and the user B. They both are in the same role, but they should not see each other's data due to privacy concern. How you can go and implement this restriction in the Salesforce? So for example, I have one team and in my team there are two users. I don't want the two users who are working in my team, they should see each other's data. How I can go and implement that kind of a restriction in the Salesforce? Trust me, this is very easy. If you have worked on the Salesforce, you definitely know the answer for this question. Or if you have the basic knowledge of the Salesforce, then only you should know the answer for this question. But do attempt. And the important part here is put the detailed explanation about your thought process, why you think like that. Next question. This is where many people do get confused. What is actually the implicit sharing? Many times we talked about the sharing rules, manual sharing. Many times we talked about the OWD, role hierarchy, object level security, but we do ignore the implicit sharing in the Salesforce. I have seen this very often. What is actually the implicit sharing in the Salesforce? Very important concept because it's an inbuilt functionality that Salesforce is offering. So you should know how the implicit sharing is and how it works. So what the implicit sharing is, implicit sharing means automatically provide the access to the related records. Automatically provide access to the related record. So for example, if you are accessing the parent, automatically extend the access to the child. Or if you are accessing the child, automatically access the access of the parent based on the user's permission. That is nothing but an implicit sharing. So implicit sharing means automatically provide access to the related record. This is the key here, access to the related record. So as I said, whenever you are accessing the child, you have to go and extend the access to the parent, and whenever you are accessing the parent, you have to automatically extend the access of the child. So there are two types of implicit sharing available in the Salesforce. I already talked about in brief, but let me go and repeat it one more time. One is the parent. What does this mean? Read only access to the parent account for a user with access to the child case, contact, or the opportunity. For example, as a user, you have the access to the case object, contact object, or the opportunity object. Any of the record, you do have the access, which is linked to the account. You will automatically get the read-only access of that parent account. Automatically, you do not have to write down any OWD rule. You do not have to go and write down any sharing rule for that. As you can access the child, automatically you can access the parent. So for example, Henry is a standard user and he have the access to the opportunity, let's say through the owner based sharing rule. Okay, so you have written the owner based sharing rule, and because of that owner based sharing rule, Henry is the user who is getting the access of the opportunity. But this opportunity, it is related to the parent. As you know, right? Whenever you are creating the opportunity, you can link the opportunity with the parent. And here, what the access that Henry have for that opportunity, it is linked with one of the account. right? So automatically Salesforce will extend the access of that parent account. Again, you need to remember that the default access that we are getting from the implicit sharing, it's a read-only access. So that the Henry can only read the account, but Henry cannot go and edit the account data. Moving to the next part, that is the child access. Now here, what the question says, or how the implicit sharing works. Here, for example, Henry is again another user who do have the access of the account. Henry is someone who owns the account. As Henry is someone who is owning the account, so what all the different childs of the account, for example, opportunities, cases, contacts, which are associated with that account, Henry will automatically get the read-only access of those related records. Okay, and how this is happening? Because of the implicit sharing. Many times we do see in practical that the record has been shared, but we don't know the term, what actually it is getting called. This is happening because of the implicit sharing. So if the parent is shared or the user have the access of the parent, child access will automatically be available. Again, the access will be the read-only access. Similarly, if a user do have the access of any of the child record, the parent access will automatically available. Again, the access here will be the read-only record. And this is how the implicit sharing works to provide the access to the related records. Moving to the next question. A user reports that they cannot see the records owned by their subordinates, even though they are higher in the role hierarchy. Okay, so you have set up the role hierarchy. Okay, and imagine that you do have one custom object here. On that custom object, user cannot see the access of their subordinates. So even though, for example, under me, my team is working on few of the opportunities, as we have set up the role hierarchy, automatically I should get the access of those opportunities. But here the report came that I cannot see those records. What could be the reason that you guys can think of? Very important, very frequently asked question again. Again, the way they are asking that question might be different, but at the crux, the answer is always going to be the same. Think about it. And if you know the answer, please resume the video. The answer to this here is it is most likely happening because at the OWD level, this grant access using hierarchy flag is not enabled for that specific object. This flag is very, very important. Grant access using hierarchy. I also talked about this flag in the part 1 in more detail, but in case you guys didn't got a chance to watch the part 1, do check that out. It's a flag which will be available. For example, if you navigate to the setup and go to the sharing settings, against each object, you will see this flag grant access using hierarchy. If this flag is not enabled, even though you have set up the role hierarchy, it will not gonna work. So that the settings allow the user which are higher in the role hierarchy to automatically gain the access owned by the users, it will not work if the setting is disabled. So to make it work, what you have to do, you have to go and enable this flag. Now, this leads me to my another question, which is related to this. If you know about this flag, I hope you definitely answer this question. Is it possible to bypass the grant login access using hierarchy in the case of standard object? In the case of custom object we discussed in this scenario, you can go and enable it, you can go and disable it. Right? That's completely possible with the help of for the custom object. Now here the question comes for the standard object. Is it possible to go and disable or uncheck the grant login access using hierarchy flag? If yes, how to do it? If no, do let me know the answer. Another question. Can a custom object on the detail side has a sharing rule? So for example, there are two objects. One is the master. So there are two objects. One is the master and second is the child. Or you can say the detail object. These two objects are related with the master detail relationship. Is it possible to go and define the sharing rule for that custom object? If yes, how you will do it? If no, why it is not possible? Think about it. So the answer to this here is no, it is not possible to go and define the sharing rule if the two objects are related with the master detail relationship. The reason being, the master will control the behavior of the child. To define the sharing rule, either the owner based or the criteria based, one field which is very important, that is the owner field. And if the two objects are related with the master detail relationship, on the detail object, we don't have the owner field. So it is not possible to define the master detail relationship. It is not possible to define the sharing rule if the two objects are related with the master detail relationship. I hope you found this series helpful and got few learnings from this series. Again, I am iterating. If you want to download this guide with more than 350 plus questions, do check out the TopMate Digital Product Interview Guide. Moreover, I personally believe that you found this admin guide also helpful because this guide is updated after the Agentforce release. Whatever the architectural changes has been done, everything has been incorporated in this guide as well. In this guide, you will get all those 350 plus questions, whatever the questions that we have discussed, everything will be available in this guide as well. Again, I wish you best of luck for your interview preparation. Thank you. Have a good time.